Good morning. It's Joyful Christian Hermit. See if you can get a picture of, I guess, a little bit of the dogs there. I'll try it up here. Nope, that's worse. Okay, there. Anyway, haven't done a video yesterday. I worked so hard helping. I'm not even sure what all we did. This grinding, and I used this great big like a pneumatic drill, real heavy. Put my new chipping blade in it that I'd gotten. It has an angle to it. Used that and took the skin off of the inside of my middle finger. And I mean, no big deal. It's just, it was just so powerful. And my hands are very calloused anyway from work, so it was no bleeding or anything. So it wasn't a messy wound. But well, we just worked hard. Chip took pulled washing machine out, very heavy washer, and then I chipped out some tile, squeezed back in there, and then the daughter got further back in to try to get the back part done, and we just have 1/4 of the laundry room yet to do. But we sprung a water leak, so we decided to call it quits. I brought my fiberglass tape and tools that'll help, tighten up the clamps and things. She doesn't have tools. I'm the queen of tools until I'm finished, and it's going to be a huge sale. Huge, huge, huge. So, now what else? Oh, took out the carpet in the hallway and the padding, and nothing was easy. They had glued the padding down, but it came out fairly well, but now it's all sticky. But we found cracks in the hallway, and I didn't want to alarm her because she's already got so much going on her plate between her work and her fiance, so to speak, and just a lot going on. So pressures of her career. But I did a lot of research last night on the types of cracks and what we'll need. I had some stuff, because I've got some driveway cracks I'm going to work on. But this is, because you can't put tile down on top of cracked concrete. That thing will keep expanding. So I'll break it to her today after I do a little more research. And we'll have to go. I want to talk to some. There's one Home Depot here that is the best, that has, the sort of the hub of the best workers go there, the retired people who would know such things very well, and get their advice on because they were always conflicting online. And the one product that looked excellent, you can only seemingly get through the company that makes it, and it was very, very costly. For a gallon, we aren't going to need a gallon. For one crack was fairly good sized. I'll have to measure it. But anything over an 1/8 inch is going to require some extra sensitive work on it. So there was that, and of course I'm not used to being out of bed much, so that was my longest day yet. I think I was out of bed maybe 6 hours, 5 hours, 6 hours at least. Then supper, getting the dogs their supper, and I don't even remember what I had. Oatmeal. I ate oatmeal. I was so tired. So back at it, but it won't be as long. It took me a long time to get up this morning. And yesterday there was conversation that, of course, things came out that just last night I did what LS said. I did it so many times. Lord, take this from me, take it from me. I have concerns. I'm caught in the middle of something. That I know something. I know from both sides. And I am sworn to secrecy. So, I'm caught in the middle in one of those situations, so I really have to just, all I can do is pray. Pray for the Lord to work it all out, and then encourage each person from my viewpoint that God has given me. This always seems to happen to me through my not wanting, but I find out things. And then there's always some big dilemma, and it's worrisome, concerning. Of course, we want the best for everyone. So that had me awake a lot. But I read the scriptures. I read today's saint is Saint John of God, Saint John the Hermit, from the 2nd century. And then there was a sermon or a writing. I think it was a letter to the people of Corinth from Pope Clement of Rome. He's like one of the earliest, maybe like the third pope, the third lead apostle after Peter. So I got that information, and I want to share that with you. I'm hoping I'll have any bit of energy tonight to do it, and I won't be all wrapped up praying about how to deal with this other temporal world situation. But isn't that what it is for us in life? It's our situations, in relational usually, always relational actually. It always involves people in some way, shape, or form, and God's creation, being creatures or things. And of course the person is always us, so there's always a person involved. And prayer is always needed. Trust in God, courage, and sometimes, it can get to the point where we have to speak up in a way that we wish we didn't have to. Truth, beauty, and goodness. And truth can be very, very painful. If we see something that really needs to be addressed, or not a good situation, but then we have to take into consideration people's own wills, their age, and if they see things, it can be one thing. But if our personalities are such, like I used to not be confrontive, and I used to just stuff things in and hold it in, and I always try to think the good of people, very idealistic. And I think now my eldest daughter is very strong, and strong will, and does not put up with anything from others. She draws the line, and she speaks, and she is firm, and she's been that way. Nope, I don't want that. And even as a little child, when she was 4, something happened with an evil entity, and she never wanted to say the Lord's Prayer after that. It was terrible. Prayed over her, and of course she still had to go to church, but what do you do but pray? And it was not, I wasn't Catholic then, but they wouldn't take anything like that as for an exorcism. There weren't other signals, but the devil got in there, and she just didn't believe, and didn't pray. And she would go to youth group, she would go to church, and just sit there, but she had to until maybe the last 2 or 3 months of her senior year. It got too much to force her. I think maybe I still did. I'm trying to think if she didn't go every single Sunday. We were Protestant, but she liked her youth group, so it's a tough thing. Thank God for youth groups, and for the human elements of church. That's what is the starting ground for people, and love and kindness. But she's not at all been impressed with what all I've gone through. At all. Neither she nor her husband, nor this second daughter. And the son left and just even turned against God. So it's tough. and I have remained steadfast. But I see it's sort of the same situation. You fall in love, you see the flaws, you see the sins, the flaws, the weaknesses in what you love. Yet there's nothing really you can do about it except live it yourself to the highest degree of holiness you can, say in a marriage or in a relationship. If one person was poorly parented, has no sense of responsibility or follow through or taking initiative, even as an adult, you wonder how on earth have they lived? Hand to mouth, basically, educated and all. But a parent who's spoiled and adored, probably to the point caused a divorce in another situation. And but the mother adored a single child, and so and never made the child do for the person's self. So it's really puts difficulty into relationships when you see that, but you love the person, and the person's a nice person, kind or whatever, but then you have to think, is it really kind to put this other person sort of at risk? Well, it isn't at risk. If they get married, it could be a risk for responsibility, for finances and things, so, or not following through. If the person, but then the other person would have to be just like the mother then and do everything for them. But that's what the person was trained and used to. So parents, they always say, better to not be a friend. Although at this point in my life, with the ones that would speak with me, my son doesn't want to be a friend or an adult child, doesn't want to have a adult relationship. But I think this one, I said, just consider us friends. We get away some from the parent image. I'm not a parent in that sense. I'm not a but I'm one to pray for people and to care as I would for anyone. And that's the same with my other adult daughter. But I don't know much to pray about there, but other than I know in general. And there's always things to pray about with people. But anyway, I'm sorry I haven't done updates for a couple of days. And I think I got behind anyway. Sort of lost track. That's okay. Hope you guys understand. But I do like the Hermit John the Hermit. And it's good to love people, isn't it? Love people and just keep praying, asking God, what is your, what do you want with me, with this person? What can I do? What's my assignment? That's with me, with God, usually it's an assignment of one sort or another. An assignment for God, an assignment for a soul, and sometimes the assignment is to suffer it. To suffer and to pray. Not speak, not intervene, but to suffer and pray. Other times, God will have us act, speak, and risk relationship. That's a lot, I think, what parents get involved in. Especially mothers can be that way, where they don't want to risk losing their child, even as an adult. It can, let the child not be reared or not know how to handle responsibilities that well, And then you rather have that close attachment. And then the adult child, just loves all that love. Or if the parent dies, then the adult child never realizes, hey, you didn't teach me these things. But it's amazing what people can slide through life doing without. People can go through life even without paying taxes. Slide through the cracks. If they're not making much money, if they don't do much, just sort of, other people have always been there for them, I guess. And, or if they have a really great personality, they have wonderful friends, and well, that's just how he is or she is, and, we'll just put up with it. So people then don't. So, sometimes we have to just try to help the person gradually to get a grip. And can be very, very tricky whole situation. So, just talking aloud here while heading over to get to work. I'm not sure. I think we're going to work on that laundry room, and we'll chip away once we get the rest of the tiles off, chip the concrete, and then use my little hand grinder, my angle grinder that it has a little diamond blade that really scrapes down. We hook up a big shop vac to it and wear ventilator masks and masks, big front masks, so you don't get anything on your eyes. Yesterday I was taking up the tack strips in the hallway where the carpet had been, and one of them flipped up and hit me right in the face. I was lucky. The sharp little nail part just whapped me, and I was lucky it didn't get my eye. So I realized, wow, even doing tack strips, well, it was sticking, that they had to use concrete nails to put the tack strips down into concrete, so had to use the pry bar with extra pressure, and that flipped it. So there's something I learned: extra caution, extra caution. So God bless this day and all the people in the world and all of the little tiny issues that come up that we turn over to God, and we also then in our own part love, pray, love, forgive, or also teach. Keep teaching through our examples and encourage others. Encourage others if there is a reasonable hope and a person is willing to pick up a few extra ways of being. That can always be a lovely thing. Especially when people aren't intentionally being. They just were never taught. I'm always grateful for my mother. Temper and all. I see how the mothering was left up to her. I could see from her viewpoint now as an adult how frustrating that could be. So now, Mercy does this because she's waiting for a treat now. Say goodbye, Mercy. Say goodbye. God bless His real presence in us.